Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to the Marketing Nomad YouTube channel. This is going to be a tarot guidebook review video. Now this is the Witch to the Forest Guide to Tarot Magic, and this one is by Lindsay Squire and it is illustrated by Viki Lester. Now this particular guidebook was gifted to me by the Quarto Group, and I just wanted to say a very big thank you to them for sending this over for me to review. This is a very in-depth guidebook. It is suitable for beginners as well as advanced readers. And before we shift the camera angle, let me just read from the back and then we'll get into it, all right? So it says, explore the magical and powerful world of tarot in the fourth and final installment of the Witch of the Forest Guide to series. The world of tarot cards is swirling with rich meaning, symbolism, and secrets waiting to reveal themselves. Whether you're new to witchcraft, tarot, or both, this beginner's guide to tarot magic is for you, including stunning illustrations from the Witch of the Forest's very own tarot magic deck. Hold on, I have it right over here. Illustrated by Viki Lester of Forensics and Flowers, explore the in-depth meanings and symbolism behind every card, develop your intuitive tarot skills, and improve your wellness practice through the power of witchcraft and tarot. This is by Leaping Hare Press. All right, and it says over here, and I thought that was so cool, flip this jacket for a tarot spread, and we're gonna do it, okay? We're gonna do it together. And I gotta say, this particular deck, hold on, let me actually get, beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so this particular deck, you know, there is a lot for beginners to learn. There's also a lot coming through for advanced readers, which is why I absolutely love this deck. Now the guidebook is sold separately, and I would highly recommend getting it regardless of where you are at with your understanding and use of tarot, because I, as an advanced reader, I mean, this has been so much of information, and we're going to get deeper into why I was completely blown away by this particular guidebook. And yeah, we're going to get into my thoughts about it, and we're also going to do the tarot spread that they've kind of put it across for us, and we'll see. All right, so before I get into it, I just want to say that the energy of this particular deck is very unique. I did mention it in the tarot review video that I did, so you might want to check that out as well if you want details about this particular deck. Right? There's a review video for that as well. But this is going to be specifically for the guidebook. I just wanted to make that a little bit clear. I'm going to be talking and reviewing the guidebook in particular. All right? Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the review of the guidebook. Alrighty, so let's get into the Witch of the Forest Guide to Tarot Magic. Discover yourself through tarot, learn about the magic behind the cards. All right, so I think that I've already read from the back. This is what the back looks like. All right, Leaping Hare Press over here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a flip through, and then I'm gonna be talking about my own thoughts as I flip through. All right, so this is how it looks. It's a full color book, beautifully designed by Viki Lester, and I would have to say that Lindsay Squire has done a fantastic job with respect to the written details about it as well. All right, okay, so this is just a content page. We're going to get deeper into it. So this is the introduction. All right, then they've talked a little bit about, you know, tarot isn't about fortune telling, it's not always about it. And then they also talk about divination. There are a few kind of like myth busts that this book has done. I would recommend this book for beginners just because it gives you such a beautiful starting point. You know, I think that when I started with tarot reading, which was about 3 years ago, you know, I had so many of these questions about, okay, well, is it just about fortune telling? I didn't really have a very clear idea of what tarot was, and it was only after digging, and a lot of digging, trust me, that I kind of understood that yes, it's not always about fortune telling, and you know, it can help you with spirituality, it can help you understand yourself better, understand your life better, so on and so forth. So I think that this book would have definitely answered some of the questions that I did have at that point in time. All right. So starting your tarot journey, this is what I was talking about. I think that this book is a fantastic guide if you are starting on your tarot journey and you probably don't know where to start. I would recommend this one. Right. Then, it's about buying your first tarot deck. Yes, I've actually had this belief, that, you shouldn't buy your first tarot deck, or you should be gifted a tarot deck rather than buying it. But, the book, like I said, does some myth busts for you, and it says, no, it's just a superstition. Don't worry about it. Right? And then it talks about choosing a deck. So even if you haven't bought your deck, then this is a good way for you to get started. How to bond with your deck. Love this. Few questions just to get you started, just to get comfortable with your deck as well. How to care for your tarot cards. I really like this. I like that, even though there's a written section, like I'm a visual person, I have to put this out there. I'm a very, very visual person. And so as much as I love reading, and I do read a lot, and I'm an author myself, so I've read quite a lot. I love reading, but I prefer things to be in a more visual way, and I love that everything that has been written is just beautifully designed into something that I can just look and absorb and I can retain. And I've got some sort of an eidetic memory, so this kind of helps me with that visual retention as well. So I love that about this book. It does it, even over here. Just because there's a written section doesn't mean there's also a visually visually stimulating accompaniment to what they've written over here. Yes. All right. So then we have Tarot versus Oracle, kind of helping you understand what's the difference between the two. And then how do you start, with your cards. With a daily draw, I think there are a couple of spreads that they've talked about. And then with the Tarot journal, I think someone on my YouTube video just recently said that they didn't know they could journal with tarot. I think that this is a very good starting point. I am looking to do a video about it at some point in the future, but just in case you were looking for some kind of written content on it, yeah, this book definitely covers that as well. Like I said, very good starting point if you're starting out with tarot. So then it talks about practical tarot, all right, and then how do you learn with the RWS deck? And then I loved the color symbolism. It really breaks it down very, very well. It also talks about tarot and timing. It gives you a snapshot of what each card could mean and how you could interpret it in terms of timing. Then we have the major arcana. When does it start? When does it stop? In terms of the year, in terms of the signs, the astrological signs that it associates with. Then there's also, of course, numerology and tarot. I really think that all three blend very, very well. Even if you are using a normal RWS deck, this just helps you add that additional layer. And then there is a concise, number meanings, 1 to 10, in case you want to kind of remember it as well. Then we have the yes and no section. Like every tarot card, there's a yes, no, or maybe. So this just helps you identify it very, very easily. Like if you have a yes and a no or maybe question, you can use this book to help you get started with that as well. And over time of doing it, you yourself will kind of connect to the cards. One additional message that I would put is sometimes, with a yes and no, the cards can be ambiguous. So it's about what you feel in that moment of time. I do want to add that as well. Then we have the elements and ruling planets. We also have the correspondence with the astrological signs as well, the planet meanings and the zodiac. Very, very comprehensive book. So it's not just for beginners, it's also for advanced readers as well. And I would say that if you're a beginner, I would say first get comfortable with the RWS symbolism, the meanings, and then start adding layers of the astrological correspondence, all right? Then we have, of course, reversals. I particularly don't do reversals. I think that the energy speaks for itself and it's not necessary to physically reverse the cards. But if you are into reversals, this could help you out with that as well. Then we start with the major arcanas and then we go into the minor arcanas after they've finished the major arcanas. But one thing that I really liked and I want to go in detail a little bit is with every single card as a ruling planet, as a zodiac sign, there's the element, there's a yes and a no, keywords upright, what does it mean, and then keywords reversed, These are just for you to remember it. And then, it's the Fool's Journey. It starts with a small description of what the card is about. And then it talks about the upright meaning and then the reverse. And then there's a picture of the card. And then the same goes for the Minor Arcana, though I think in the Minor Arcana they don't really put the images, but it's the same, ruling planet, the zodiac sign, element, yes or no, keywords upright, keywords reversed, the upright meaning, and then the reversed meaning as well. All right, and then some cards, yes, it is a maybe. Let me hold on. I think I'll get you one. I'll show you one because, see, the moon is no. The other previous 3 cards that we saw was yes. The moon will be a no. And then there's also justice. Look, yes, if it's a moral question. So there are additional information that comes through, which is something that I really liked. Hierophant unsure. See, it's not always a yes and no. And sometimes it is yes depending on something. It's no depending on something. And then hold on, let me find a maybe for you as well. High Priestess and yes, Hierophant is oftentimes answer is not clear. It's more, especially when I get the High Priestess, when I'm trying to find a yes and no, it's like your intuition is telling you, so listen to your intuition. It often relates to that for me. Hold on, let me get you a maybe as well. Let's find for a maybe. 5 of Wands, no, yes, that is true. Yeah, 7 of Wands, yes. I would see how 7 of Wands could be a maybe. All right, so this is the entire guidebook for you. There's one additional part that they've talked about, which is tarot spreads, and even the jacket has a tarot spread, so we're going to get into that, all right? So we have tarot spreads as the last section of this book, and then reading for yourself, reading for others. How do you get started with that? Then how do you shuffle your tarot deck? And then there's 3 or 4 card spreads. There are a number of ways. Very, very comprehensive book, I would say. And then, of course, we have the Celtic cross spread. Each of the positions have a definite meaning, have a definite position, like interpretation. So you put the cards over there and then you interpret it, all right? Pretty detailed spread. This is one for that. Then we have tarot spells and rituals. This is, of course, they have also given you some ground rules that you need to follow. And I always say, words are powerful and words are spells. So tarot spell for protection, and then, when is the best time to do it. There's also for prosperity. There's for healing, and there's also to let go. Yes, I've seen this as well. And then there are some runes also if you want to learn. Tarot spell for overcoming obstacles and blockages, for romantic love, for psychic abilities, and for stress relief. Beautiful, beautiful, right? Oh, there's also one for self-love. I've actually, with respect to the rituals, I've only kind of come up to the prosperity. I'm still yet to go through these, but I can't wait. I usually do it when I feel like it, so I'm still at prosperity. I've done protection, I've done prosperity, but I really want to kind of finish through with let go, and yeah, I also want to do for psychic abilities as well and stress relief. Yes, self-love, absolutely as well. So there's a little bit of a recommended reading list in case you want to kind of get deeper into it. There's some for tarot for beginners, intermediate, and then there's witchcraft and astrology that wants to come through. Of course, this is the index, and then we have the acknowledgements, all right? So what we're going to do is actually I want to read this because I feel like these two have done such a fantastic job. So Lindsay Squire is a practitioner of eclectic witchcraft and is the witch behind the popular Instagram account, The Witch of the Forest. She has been walking her own spiritual path for over a decade and is passionate about helping and empowering witches at the beginning of their witchcraft journeys. Lindsay lives in her home county of Yorkshire with her mischievous cats, Luna and Merlin. Beautiful. Viki Lester of Forensics and Flowers is an illustrator from London. Her work inspires people to feel magical and features positivity with a dark botanical twist. Beautiful. You can really see that with her artwork as well. So the jacket of the book has its own tarot spread. Oh, wow. It's just Leaping Hare Press. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to put this aside, all right? And then we are going to take a look at this spread, and we're going to do a live one, all right? Okay, so we have past, present, and future, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the Tarot Magic deck, shuffle it a little bit, and then we'll see What do we need to know at this point in time? All right, past, present, and future. All right, let's see. And then I will do a live reading for all of us. Past, present, and future, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? Or what do we need to know? Let's kind of keep it as a collective, all right? What do we need to know about the past? Let's see. What do we need to know about the past? Okay. What do we need to know about the present? What do we need to know about the future? Okay. Let's take a look, all right? So we'll see the past. We have the 10 of Wands. Present, Queen of Cups. And the future, we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, so let's get into it, all right? This is probably the first time I'm reading live on this channel. I have another channel, a tarot channel. It's called The Blue Butterfly. The link is in the description box below, so if you're looking for more YouTube readings from me, then you can definitely check out that YouTube channel, all right? But let's do this. This seems nice and interesting. So 10 of Wands as the past. So the 10 of Wands usually talks about burdens, all right? But it's also kind of the last stage of the cycle where you kind of let go of all the burdens that you've been taking on in your life. It could be necessary burdens. It could be burdens that you have possibly taken on because you needed to learn a lesson, or it was part of your soul contract with someone. It could also be burdens that may not have been necessary, but you took it and the lesson you had to learn was not to take unnecessary burden in the future, all right? So what do we need to know about the past is, in the past, it's possible that you've had slightly turbulent, I guess I would say, past with respect to certain lessons that you had to learn. What the card is telling you is it's time to let go of the pain that you may be holding on to because of the past burdens. It is no longer necessary for you to take it on. Like, for a certain while, yes, it is important to carry that pain, you know, because it teaches you something, it helps you evolve. But beyond a certain point, what happens to that pain is it becomes a burden on you. It becomes something that is not necessary for you to take on any longer. And the more you take it on beyond a certain point, the more heavy you start to feel within. So about your past, whatever burdens that you may have about your past, it is time to let go. Take a look at those, the pain of your past that you might be carrying forward. Take a look and see, all right, well, at this point in time, what can I let go? What I may need to carry in the future, but what I need to let go at this point in time. So this is more of a reminder for us that at this point in time, there are certain past burdens that you are carrying that need to be let go of. What are they? Take a look. Maybe take some time to journal about it. You know, maybe there's a perspective shift that needs to happen so that you can let go, because there are different ways to let go. One could be the narrative that you've held for so long about the past. Maybe it's time to shift it in a way that facilitates your growth, in a way that's in alignment for your future or for peace. All right, so that might be something that you might want to look into at this point in time. There are no coincidences. There's a reason why you are here sitting with me and we're doing this reading together, all right? So then we have the present, Queen of Cups, okay? I gotta tell you, this absolutely aligns with me, like what I'm going through in my personal life at this point in time. Something that I just wrote, I can't believe I just did it this morning, is I wrote choose kindness, and I put it on my sticky note wall. And the reason for that is off late I've been feeling a little bit of chaos within me, and I'm unable to tap into the love that I have within me, and I'm feeling a little bit numb. And so with the Queen of Cups coming through, it's kind of like a reminder. I'm laughing because this is so in alignment with what I'm going through right now, and I definitely need to know this. And it's that the love that I'm seeking is within me, you know? Just because I might be feeling a little bit numb at this point in time doesn't mean I can't tap into the abundance of love, of care, of affection, of kindness, of compassion that already exists within me. And so this is a reminder for me, and of course, if you're here, it's probably a reminder for you as well, that the love that you seek is within you. Don't worry, all right? Take some time to go within to find that love, to tap, to reconnect with who you are, right? I wrote it just this morning. I said, choose kindness. And this is also what is coming through, because I think that at every stage, we have two paths, all right? One is to respond to the situation with our trauma responses or our reflexes, and the other is to choose a kind path, choose compassion, choose care. And off late, I've been recognizing that I've been choosing trauma responses, and that was something that I wanted to get out of, particularly for me. And so this Queen of Cups also reminds me that it is a choice. At that moment in time, pause, go within, get in touch with your emotions, get in touch with the feelings that you have, and then choose kindness, choose compassion, choose the care, all right? So that is a beautiful reminder for the present. That is something that we all need to know. So with every decision that you make, there are always two paths, all right? One, you can choose to revisit your old cycles, but you can also choose to create a new path for yourself. And a path that is filled with love, with kindness, with compassion, regardless of the circumstances, all right? Then we have the future. What do you need to know? So the Seven of Cups is more about choices, all right? It's more about, it does align, doesn't it? It's more about, you having an abundance of choice and choosing one path that is aligned with who you are. So it looks like right now I'm at a point where I have different paths opening up for me, and I get to choose. I get to understand which path is of highest alignment for what I desire. So what does that mean? That means I actually need to go within and I need to take a look and see, all right, well, what is alignment for me at this point in time? I have so many paths opening up for me, which means I can align with any one of them. But which path is going to be alignment to my deepest desire? So I get to choose at this point in time. So that means I need clarity about what I truly want from my life. Where am I going from here? What do I see happening in my future for myself, whether it's 1 year down the line, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line? How can I align with that? Which path that is opening up to me is of the most peaceful path to that end point for me? So this is more of a heads up coming through to me, and it's more about telling me, all right, take some time to reflect. You have choices opening up, you have different paths opening up. Take some time to see which path is going to be aligned, and for that you need to have clarity about where you want to go, what feels most peaceful to you. And for that you need to also get in touch with your emotions as well. You can't just be up in the air or in your mental space all the time. You also have to start getting in tune with your emotions as well. And also the path that is opening up, sometimes it can be an influence. The path that you feel is most aligned could be a burden that you're carrying, could be influenced by a burden that you're carrying from your past. So let go of your past, all right? Get in touch with your emotions so that you can make a choice or choose a path that is in highest alignment, but also brings you the most peace. All right, so that is how I would completely do this entire reading, because the past, present, and the future are all interconnected. So it's not separately reading the cards. It's, yes, starting out with that, but also finding how they merge together, finding how the energies are merging together. All right, beautiful reading. I really needed this. I really needed this at this point. And yes, it is true that I am actually at a point, in my near future, I can actually see that happening, that there are choices, different paths opening up for me. I can see that it's already started. I can already start feeling the energy. And this was a big reminder for me. And yes, it is true that there are some past burdens that I'm carrying at this moment in time that are leading to trauma responses, but not leading to me tapping into my emotions, my kindness, the inherent love that I have. So I need to shift into that, change the narratives of my past so that I can make choices that are more in alignment for my highest good. And it's not about just highest good. It's about choosing the most peaceful path to getting to the point where you wish to get to. And for me, that's the most important one. For me, spirituality is about how I go through the lessons that I'm meant to go through in the path that brings me the most peace. Yes, it might be painful, but which is the path that brings me most peace? And there needs to be a certain ease to it, even if it's learning painful lessons, especially when it comes to alignment. The path of most ease is often the path that brings you the most peace. And it also helps you align without much delay to where you are meant to be and the person that you are meant to be to get there. All right. Okay, so beautiful reading, very, very beautiful, very, very detailed. That's what I like about this card. I don't know if you checked out the review of the Tarot Magic deck that I just posted. It's there on my channel. But this particular deck, it is very honest, very unfiltered. And I think it might also have something to do with the color, the black as well as the metallic color. But it really helps you get deeper into your shadow side. Now, if you want to go deeper into this reading, all right, like for example, what kind of burden am I carrying? You want more information, then you would pick up more cards to clarify that particular card, and then so on and so forth. All right, so beautiful reading that came through over here. And for me, I particularly cleanse my deck by knocking on it. You can also, there are different ways, and it's also mentioned in the book as well, but you can put it under your pillow, you can put it in the sun, put it in the moonlight. You can also knock on it. That's how I just cleanse the energy, because I use the decks a lot, right? And I often ask different questions, not just for myself, but for the collective on my other YouTube channel, the Blue Butterfly Tarot, the Blue Butterfly Tarot YouTube channel. So I kind of ask a lot of questions, and because of that, I feel like sometimes the energy can get mixed up. So to help to clear that part of it, but of course there are different ways to clear the energy as well. So overall, I really think that this is a beautiful deck, a very very raw deck, I guess I would say. I think it might have something to do with the energy of the deck. I have particularly been using this for shadow work, whether it's my own personal readings, collective readings, or client readings. I think that there's a lot about the unconscious that comes through in this particular deck, and I love tapping into it. I mean, you need a certain level of openness to the messages that come through. Yes, absolutely. But it's been very, very helpful with respect to my shadow work. All right. So that brings me to the end of this review of the Witch of the Forest Guide to the Tarot Magic. Now, this is sold separately, but if you are interested in getting this particular deck, like you aligned with the energy of this particular deck, I would recommend getting this. This has information for beginners as well as intermediate and advanced readers as well. Highly, highly recommend this, and it's beautifully designed, very, very beautifully written as well. And overall, you know, the thing that I love most about this guidebook is I can just pick a card, and there are so many short things that I can just get right off the bat, you know, like justice. Okay, well, did I ask if it was a yes or no? Okay, yes, if it's a moral question. You know, it just gives you information right off the bat, but there's also like details that you can go through when you have the time or when you feel open to the messages that want to come through from that as well. All right, so thank you so much for watching all the way up until here. I really hope that this provided a good starting point for you to see if you should purchase this particular guide that is sold separately from the deck. But I highly, highly recommend it. I mean, this is just a really, really brilliant book for me in terms of just giving you a good starting point, but also how do you use the deck to the maximum capacity that it offers. Alrighty, so thank you so much, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.